Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and in today's video I wanted to talk to you guys about the upcoming additions that are coming to Street Fighter V in the following couple of days. And obviously these are the addition of Oro, the addition of Akira, and obviously the online tournament modes, and also discuss the topic of should Street Fighter V receive a balance patch with these changes or not. Let's first start off with the characters, Oro and Akira. Now recently I have done multiple complete character guides. I have done a guide for Juri, followed up by a guide for Sakura, and I had a lot of fun doing this, and I know there are demand for others. I have seen the comments. Obviously I know that Urien is requested, I know that Karen is requested, Balrog. So I do know, and I've seen some folk actually here and there as well. So I do know that there are demands for these characters. But I do think that obviously since these two characters are gonna be completely new, many players will try to experiment with them, and there isn't really any resource for them, or there will be a lack of resource for them at launch. They are the better characters to cover at the moment. And that is the first question. Do you think that we should cover Oro or Akira? Now this is obviously going to be completely biased because we are comparing an old guy, he's an old hermit, to a waifu, right? And obviously I am fully expecting Akira to be the more popular character. Of the two of them, she seems to be the more traditional, straightforward, easier to pick up and play character, while Oro seems to be a really weird, I will say, specialist type of character. I can see someone making really good stuff with Oro, while I can see so many people actually doing better with Akira because she is a lot straightforward, it seems to me at least. It's obviously to me that the game plan is gonna be stick in the mid-range, poke with her heavy normals that have a lot of range, and with punish with crouching medium kick. Seems to me like the current game plan in general, but we will have to wait and see. Obviously my current plan here is to try both of them out on day 1. I will be covering them in terms of combos, maybe do a video on each one of them, giving you my day 1 or day 2 impressions. How does the character feel? What are the apparent strengths and weaknesses? Maybe talk about the general game plan and what you should be doing. But obviously for a complete character guide, I will have to dig deep here and start playing these characters for a decent period of time, get a complete feel of how they function before I can make a guide for them. So which one would you like to see first? That is pretty much the question. Let me know in the comments below. Now the other thing I wanted to talk about is the addition of the online tournament mode. And it seems like we will be able to host our own tournaments. I'm not sure how it functions exactly, we're gonna have to wait and see on that one, but let's assume that there will be the ability to host tournaments, right? So maybe we can do something with that, hold a couple of community tournaments. Obviously it's gonna be regional because we don't want many players to face lag issues. Unfortunately, it is a reality with Street Fighter V's netcode, but maybe if there is the potential to host tournaments, maybe we can do a couple of regional tournaments, have it be on stream, and maybe we can have fun together. Let me know if you would be interested in something like this. Now obviously again I will have to wait and see how it functions, the tournament mode itself. But if the potential is there, maybe we can hold some tournaments. Let me know if you are interested again in the comments below. Now finally, the topic and the big discussion at hand: should Street Fighter V receive a balance patch with the upcoming addition or the upcoming DLC? And I am on two minds of this. My first thought is that the game is actually really well balanced at the moment. I think overall, in the grand scheme of things, Street Fighter V is in a pretty good place. I think there is a decent amount of character variety that you will see online, that you will see in tournaments. The Shotos are viable again: Ryu, Ken, Sakura, Akuma, Akagi. They are all at a very decent place, even Dan. And there doesn't seem to be a character who's super weak that they can't be competitive. Like even the weaker characters like Gil or Rose or Blanca, they do some work here and there. But here is a big but. I do think that some of the lower tiers need help. And I'm gonna talk about two characters specifically that I do think need the most help. and this being Rose and Gil, right? Rose to me is, I made obviously a tier list online recently, an online play tier list, and I put Rose at the bottom of the tiers. And I don't think that Rose is the worst character in the game, but online I do think she is. And obviously we are playing currently in an online environment, but even without that I do think Rose needs a lot more. Recently, if you watch any of the tournaments or streams or whatever, every now and then, every once in a blue moon, we will see Rose in a match, and maybe she will win, and we will be so hyped and excited. Oh, Rose is so sick. But like, it shouldn't be. That shouldn't be the expectation, right? We shouldn't be exciting that Rose is winning one match. This means that the character is so trash that her winning a match or two makes people excited. I do think that Rose is, as a character, have potential, but she also have some crippling weaknesses that are even more magnified because of how Street Fighter V works. Now, Rose is very strong when she is playing from her heavies range, but the issue obviously is that she is super whiff punishable, and that is something that they improved in Street Fighter V recently. So you have to play from the heavies range, but you get whiff punished, or you can get block punished by some characters. Now, if you are trying to play from a closer distance, like the mid-range, for example the medium kickbox for most of the cast, her normals, the medium normals are so bad, they don't have any range, the combo consistency is pretty weak, the Oki is very weak. So I would love to see some buffs to Rose because she is a pretty cool character, which is funny to say because Rose have traditionally always been a very boring character, but I do think in Street Fighter V she is really exciting, and I would love to see more of Rose. The second character, like I said, is Gil, and for me it's mind-blowing that Gil have been this bad for this long, given that Gil is one of the boss characters, right? How is Gil weaker than Urien? That is mind-blowing. Like, conceptually, it can't be the case. It's like saying that Akuma is weaker than Sakura or Ryu, right? That even logically, it shouldn't be the case. Now, Gil obviously have a ton of issues, but I do think there are some answers that are just straight there. Like, maybe buff his 3 frame so that it doesn't have 0 range. Maybe buff his counter hit game so that he can get more damage. Maybe make his heavies inflict the burn or the freezing effect. They need to take some daring changes with Gil. I think even with the Season 5 balance patch, they didn't really buff him. The only meaningful good change he got was that crouching medium punch will combo into heavy shoulders. But other than that, I don't think any of the changes were super spectacular or really pushed the character. Certainly nothing close to what Ryu, Ed, or Alex received, right? So I do think Gil is a character that is super lacking. He's one of the most entertaining characters to watch and to play in Street Fighter V, and I would love to see Gil being better. I think if they decide to do a balance patch, I would like it to be in the same scope of the ones that we received in May, when they buffed Ken and Nash and slightly nerfed Cammy and Urien. I think that is how you do it. I don't want a system-wide changes. Maybe that shouldn't be... Maybe that's something they can do at the end of the season, or maybe with Luke. But for now, I would like to see more focused one on the characters that really need help. But anyways, let me know, would you like to see a new balance patch or not? It certainly could be very exciting. Let me know in the comment section below. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon page and the Discord server page in the description below. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.